We are starting this one from inside the R8 Spyder. I just finished putting the top down, which you can do it up to 30 miles an hour. And we've got a few windows here, obviously the driver and passenger window, but then we also have a window back here, which we can raise or lower to allow more or less exhaust noise in and also more or less wind noise while we're driving. So, Christina, who's manning the camera, is going to start us off with some questions. Say hey, Christina.
Hey, hey.
I thought you were going to say hey, Christina. I always want people to do that.
The first one is exhaust sound, but...
Oh, okay. Well, we're driving, but we're at a stoplight, so we can't start with that one.
How do you feel about the styling from Blake?
How do I feel about the styling? Well, let's skip these ones and get to some that don't require us actually looking at the car or it's sitting still.
Is the Lamborghini Huracan Evo worth the price premium over this?
Okay, I like this
From
question.
Carl.
Carl asked this question. If the Lamborghini Huracan, well, we can hear some exhaust now. The Huracan is, if you don't know, based on the same platform as the Audi R8, has been for a few years now, and it therefore would seem to be unnecessarily expensive relative to an Audi R8 when you can get kind of the same powertrain, same chassis, you know, in a much less expensive package. So the Audi R8 starts under $200,000, but the R8 V10 Performance Spyder that we're driving right now is $208,000. If you want to get into a Lamborghini, which of course has more supercar brand cash and is more exciting to look at, that's going to cost you $233,000 to start for the rear drive version. Of course, the Audi R8 is all-wheel drive. It is an Audi. Audis have Quattro. They always have that all-wheel drive going for them. So we're now at a stop, so we'll pause here, and I'll continue to answer the question. But just we were getting a little late on time. We wanted to start the video. Didn't want people waiting. Anyway, so the rear drive version of the Huracan.
Hold on.
Is $233,000, so that stands as $25,000 more expensive than this R8. Oh, that was the Huracan Spyder, because we want to do apples to apples. So this is the Audi R8 Spyder, that is the Huracan Spyder. And if you wanted to do more apples to apples, then you would get the all-wheel drive version of that Huracan, and that would be $291,000. So if we're talking about the same drivetrain, same powertrain, then it's going to have to be the R8 Spyder V10 Performance versus the Huracan all-wheel drive. That means that is 291 minus 208, 80 something thousand. I'm awful at math. That's why I'm a writer. But you can see it's a big price difference, and you have to ask yourself what's funny, Christina? What, that I suck at math?
Well, that was funny.
Yeah, I suck at math. So you have to ask yourself whether it's worth it. I think that, unfortunately, we'll get into this in a second, the R8 doesn't command the same attention that the Lamborghini Huracan does. And therefore, if you want that attention, if you want that supercar look, then it might be worth it to you to spend all of those extra thousands of dollars, because, let's be honest here, I'm talking for a person who cannot ever even imagine spending that much money on a car. So for those folks who have the money to spend on that car, they can probably afford to spend more money, and it might be worth it to them to get that look. But it's a great question, Carl. Let's go back to, I think the question...
Exhaust sound.
Exhaust sound. Yes, okay, let's do exhaust sound. We heard a little bit of it, but let's do it again. Be off to the side so you're not like right behind the car. Yeah, pretty good. And I know someone at some point asked if there's a soft rev limiter. Clearly not. It'll let you rev all the way up to the 8,500 RPM red line if you go into the performance mode. The other drive modes, it won't let you do that. But yes, you can just sit here and rev it all the way out, which is awesome. So there's your exhaust noise. I think that was from Grandma Shardik herself, is it not?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Okay, how do you feel about the styling from Blake?
Styling, yes. This is, well, I think specifically Blake asked if it's kind of gotten better or worse as time has gone on. And in my opinion, Audi crushed it with the first version of the R8 back in, what was it, 2008, I think, question mark? Correct me if I'm wrong, 2008? That first iteration with a 4.2 liter V8, naturally aspirated, with a gated 6-speed manual, I mean, that was like incredible. But not just the powertrain and the choice of transmission, it was the styling. It just was so cutting edge looking that it really made up what a halo car is supposed to be for an automaker. So I thought Audi killed it with the first R8, and unfortunately I didn't think they followed it up with better looking versions of the car. It still looks cool, it still looks sharp, but I don't think it looks as good as that first R8, and I honestly think they would have to come out with something so completely different for it to capture that same awe-inspiring design from that first R8. Next question.
Oh. Okay.
Christina wasn't ready.
Well,
She was so enthralled with my description.
You usually go on like a little longer rant, so I was like, oh, I'm going to take a break.
She called it. She says I go on rants. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm going to take a break here.
Is it strange the new R8 has a petrol particulate filter, but the Huracan doesn't? From Cody.
That's a great question. So a petrol particulate filter, for those who don't know, is is a form of emissions regulation. So they put this filter in the exhaust system and it reduces emissions significantly. So for our planet Earth, it's a great invention. For enthusiasts, it's the worst thing in the world because it drastically diminishes or alters, I should say, the exhaust noise. Now, as we heard, the R8, even though it has the petrol particulate filter, sounds incredible, but it doesn't sound the same as the Huracan because, who was it that asked that question? Cody points out the Lamborghini Huracan does not have that filter. Why? I don't know, because Italians get away with some things. Nothing against them, they just get away with some things with their supercars. So maybe this car would sound even better without that particulate filter, but it wouldn't be as emissions compliant.
Okay, you already commented on the soft rev limiter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Horn check from Pablito.
Pablito, I could always count on him for a horn check. Okay.
I'm gonna move over here.
I'm gonna move over here.
Oh.
That sounds like a standard horn, right? What's your take on that horn?
I just always say time for school.
Time for
school.
Like
if your ride's here,
that's
you're getting
true.
picked up.
Or carpool.
That's
yes.
Okay. That's when you get picked
Well, not only
up,
kids carpool, Christina, adults carpool as well. Those who want to ride in the carpool lane.
When do you honk at your friend?
I don't know.
Okay.
If they're late. If you're late.
You never honk at me. You better not. Okay. And moving on to, is it usable on city roads, from Aaron?
Yes, I think more specifically he's referring to the suspension system. It's so punishingly harsh of a riding vehicle that you wouldn't want to drive it around town. You wouldn't want to daily drive it on a city road. No, it's actually remarkably smooth. It isn't the smoothest supercar I've ever driven. I think that goes to the Acura NSX. That was the most daily drivable, comfortable supercar I've ever driven. But the R8 is not so far off. You could definitely live with it on a daily basis. I just realized all the windows are up and it doesn't look as good with it parked with the windows up. Anyway, so yes, not very punishing. I think Aaron asked like 4 of the questions, which great. I encourage that. By the way, to go backwards, if you want to get your questions in early, a couple different ways you can do that. Instagram, follow me at MilesPerHr. I also have a TikTok at MilesPerHr. And then YouTube community, I post a photo of the car and ask a question, usually a day early. Today was just this morning. but that's how you get our questions in early. I answer those first, then I get to the YouTube questions. So we are getting to you folks who have joined us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will get to your questions, I promise you. And yeah, okay, so, and subscribe if you haven't already.
And if you missed the revs, we did them, but we will do them again in
We'll
a
do
little
them
bit.
again, yeah.
Okay.
Not right this second. It sounds great.
All right, how much attention does it get? You already talked about that a little bit.
I did, yeah, not that much. You would think, wow, supercar, it looks like a supercar. It looks very striking on the road. Doesn't look like many other vehicles on the road. It could be the fact that where we live, this part of Southern Orange County, there happen to be a lot of supercars around here. So I kind of feel like people get disillusioned and they see other supercars and they're like, oh, just another Audi R8, which seems so wrong. But it doesn't get as much attention as you think, and I think that could be a strength of the R8 if you don't want to be flashy. That's the R8 for you. But it's also a weakness if you want kind of people to take notice. That's not necessarily this car. That's the Huracan.
Could it be the color that's a problem?
Could be the color. You know, it's this. It's Suzuka Grey, they call it. It's like a milky white. It does have
it's
some
not
carbon
really
fiber
gray.
bits. Yeah, they call it Suzuka Grey. It's just like a chalk white.
Yeah. Okay, is it the most fun Spyder you've driven?
Good question. I have driven a number of them. Most fun? No. I mean, in terms of pure theater, that's going to be a Lamborghini. That's going to be the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. Then again, if we're talking specifically nomenclature, Spyder is not used on every convertible supercar. This is just getting very in the weeds, but supercar manufacturers will either use the words convertible, Spyder with an I, or Spyder with a Y, or Volante if you're Aston Martin. So I'm just going to assume Spyder, meaning convertible, is it the best convertible I've driven this year? No, I'm going to give that to the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. That was the most exciting, one of the most exciting cars I've ever driven. Seriously.
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 Seriously. How does driving it make you feel?
I like this question a lot.
Aaron.
Aaron asked how it makes you feel. Aaron, as I said, had a number of great questions. Thank you for offering all those. Depends. It completely depends on the drive mode. If you're kind of just cruising around, it just feels like a regular Audi, which is great if you just want to kind of very mellowly cruise around town. If you put it into performance mode, then it very much gets more exciting and you feel more engaged with the car. But it is an all-wheel drive supercar, and there isn't so much to kind of have you feel like you're driving on the edge. This is very much in control of all its maneuvers. That's kind of Audi vehicles. They never really get too sideways, too scary. They're always kind of in control unless you're doing something really wrong behind the wheel. So I'm going to say it makes you feel sort of like a surgeon. You are just exacting, you're precise, you're calculated, you've done this a million times.
Huh.
Christina didn't like that one.
I just
When she says something like "Pat,"
it.
then she's not.
Hey, can
she's
you
not
take
real.
2 steps back?
Okay.
You're blocking the R8.
All right. Oh, we see what she cares about, folks. The car.
Okay.
It's always the car.
No, that's not true.
I know.
Okay, does its presence live up to other cars you've driven in 2020 from Yukon? You've kind of talked about this.
Yeah, I kind of talked about this a little bit. I know, interesting word, presence.
Yeah.
That kind of same thing with like, does it draw attention on the road? I think that it looks sharp. It doesn't scream supercar like chaos at you, which people kind of want to see with supercars.
Okay. Seating position compared to
Well, let's show
other
off these here.
Spyders from Mr. T.
Mr. T asked about the seating position. This I'm going to have to answer personally because I'm 6 feet tall, but I have a longer torso than some folks and not crazy long legs. So for me, seating position is always an issue with Christina's laughing at me. I just have to, guys,
Emotions.
I've got to frame this.
Crazy long legs.
Oh, you just like the movements with my body. So with supercross, it's always a problem because I can never get the seat low enough, where I'm always sitting too high. My head's looking like right into the crossbeam here. With the R8, I deal with that a little bit. not as bad as the Huracan. The Huracan, it's like, that's what you're seeing out of most of the time. Same thing with the Aventador. With Lamborghinis, it's like you're looking out of a letterbox. This car, not as bad, not as steep of a rake on the windshield. So I find that I can sit here, I feel a little high. I feel like if I sit all the way up straight, I'm looking kind of here, and this is as low as the seat goes. Cannot go any lower, this is it. So I can't sit any lower, I can still see out of it, the seating position is good. For folks who don't have as long of a torso, you're not gonna have a problem with it. With the top up, I found that my head is on the roof.
Put the top up.
I'll put the top up. Says Christina, I do whatever she says. I do what she says.
How long does it take? Aren't you gonna do your countdown?
I'm not. It's too
Oh.
late. I've already started. You guys can count for yourselves. Y'all are better at math than me anyway. There we go. So top's up. And yeah, so you can see my head is on the roof if I'm sitting all the way up straight. If I'm kind of slouching a little bit, I have a 1/4 of an inch, but if I sit all the way up straight, my head's on the roof. So that's why you just got to put the top down. Just put it down.
And it's a soft top, right?
It is a soft top, yes.
Does it come in a hard top?
It does not. Unlike some supercars, like a McLaren 570S, for example, it is, or the 720S, it is only a soft top, not a hard top. But I actually think that this is one of those supercars that looks really good with the top up. So many supercars or sports cars with the top up, convertibles I should say, look not great with the top up. They look way better with the top down. All right, what is the next question, Christina? Should I read it? It's been long enough.
Sure.
Okay. It's been long enough. Yeah. Sounds good. That's a V10 for you guys. Yeah, sounds real good. What's the next question? Have we exhausted the early
No,
questions?
almost.
Okay, we're almost to YouTube, guys.
Is this better than a GT3 RS from Diego Moreno?
Yeah, it's not really a competitor to that car. A Porsche 911 GT3 RS, much more targeted to being a track driving vehicle. This is much more of a livable, street drivable car. The GT3 RS, you could drive on the street, but you wouldn't really want to. It's kind of aggressive. This is not. This is very much more comfortable.
All right, sorry, I'm just trying to show some details.
Yeah. I can't show you the engine, unfortunately, because the engine is, of course, behind the front passengers, and this cover doesn't want to, it doesn't come off.
Okay, show me the lights, please.
Okay. Let's see. That's with the headlights off. This is with the side marker lights on. That's with the headlights on. Audi kills it with their lights. They really do. You want to see turn signals? Show you turn signals. Christina is answering for you guys. Just wanted you to know. So the turn signal's up here where the LED daytime running light typically is, and then the headlights are down there. You can see the tail light as well. You go to the back.
Okay.
Okay. Next question.
Show me the chop chop. No clue what that is.
Not a clue. Maybe someone can
Okay.
educate me. I guess
Is
I'm
it
too old for that.
faster than a Koenigsegg from Von Craig Jr.?
No, unfortunately not. Definitely not if you're talking about the most current Koenigsegg's, the Agera RS, the Regera. No, it is not going to be faster than those cars. Those are like mega cars. This is very much in the supercar category. That is in the hypercar, mega car category. Those are in the, this car is like 3 seconds to 60 flat. Those cars are going to be in the like 2.5 seconds to 60. They're quick. They're real quick. And higher top speeds for those too.
Okay, from Harsh. During idle, does the exhaust create vibrations within the cabin? If so, do you think this is a flaw?
Huh, interesting question. Does it create vibrations within the cabin? So there are two schools of thought on this. I'm going to answer the question directly. Not really. And there are two schools of thought. Some people are like, yeah, more vibration. I want to feel the car. I want to feel connected with it. And then some people are like, no, I want it to be, at this price, I want it to be contained. I want it to only have performance and feel like I'm engaging with the car when I press that button. The car, the R8 specifically, is definitely more in the latter category. It is refined, daily drivable, and then you press the button and it becomes kind of wild, but always all-wheel drive contained.
All right, I'm skipping some of these because we answered them about the hard top or soft top. We already covered that.
Yep.
And so Von Craig Jr., what's the top speed and horsepower?
Top speed is 200 exactly. The horsepower is 600 horsepower.
Okay. Is it true that American R8 is louder than usual cars from 777777?
Are you sure you got the exact number of sevens?
No, I might have added one more.
Might have added
There
an
were
extra
6
seven.
sevens.
We just need for record-keeping purposes. What's the word? I can't remember the word. Anyway, it is louder than your average Toyota Corolla. You gave a very general bucket there than average cars. Than average supercars, perhaps not, unless you really want to hear the exhaust and then you press the performance button, or you go into dynamic mode, or you open up the exhaust valves and really lay on it, and then you're hearing a naturally aspirated V10, which sounds awesome. So it can be louder than V6 powered or some twin turbo V8 powered cars. Because it's a naturally aspirated engine, you're not having the distilled noise of forced induction. But if you just want to compare it to your average everyday car, if you put it in quiet mode, it's not that much louder until you go too far on the throttle. So it's throttle dictated how loud the exhaust is. If you go too fast or too deep into the throttle, it's going to open up those valves and you're going to hear it, which is good, unless you don't want to.
Okay, what's the price?
The price. This particular car here is, I think, $228,000 with the options that we have: the carbon fiber bits, the front splitter, the mirror caps, the side sill, which everyone was all upset when the side sill on the first generation R8 went from all the way up here. Well, of course, this is a convertible, so that's impossible, but it went all the way up. Now it's just this section here. But these carbon fiber bits add to the price, like $14,000. And then a couple other little options here and there. The Bang Olufsen sound system, that's an option. And that brings up the price to $228,000. But $208,000 is where the car starts.
All right. Is the front spacious? Does it even matter on cars in this category?
I would argue it does matter, because if you are well-to-do and you're going to go have a weekend away in, I don't know, wherever your close getaway village is, then you and your mistress, woman, wife,
Whoa.
not mistress, sorry, wrong word, you and your lady friend.
Go to the village. She was like, go to the nearest village.
The nearest,
Yeah, get away.
I don't know, village. Why did I say village?
I don't
Anyway,
know. Why'd you say mistress?
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. It's Friday. I'm tired. If you and your lady friend want to get away, you're going to need cargo capacity to bring some bags with you. The Audi R8 is going to be a little disappointing in that regard, because you just have this deep cavity here.
Oh.
This is,
Step right up.
let's see if we can get a human body in here. No, not even my hips wide. This is how far we get in. So you cannot store any human bodies in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Anyway, so don't expect you're going to get a lot of cargo in this Audi R8. This is the only, can't stand up. This is the only cargo space in the car. You don't have a rear trunk area, kind of like the new Corvette. You just have this front trunk, and it's pretty shallow up until you get to this one cavity. You can basically just fit a carry-on suitcase or 2 soft bags. Let's put it that way.
Okay, skipping some of these because I showed the carbon fiber. George, I'm not sure what you mean by that. What would you rather have? I don't know which one. Okay.
What would I rather have? This
A lot
or
of
something
people
else?
think this in bright green would be better.
I think certainly a brighter color than the Suzuka Grey would make it stand out more. Because as is, it doesn't really stand out on the road that much. It looks sharp, but you have to know what you're looking at.
Thoughts on the wheels from Sam Sharma?
Ah, the wheels. I have heard people say they hate them. I've heard people say they love them. I feel completely impartial. I don't have any strong feelings. I can argue that they are cohesive with the kind of sharp, edgy, angular looks of the Audi R8. They kind of work in that regard. They are, however, very busy. So if the car with the wheels is too busy for you, you're going to want to swap these out. I can see both cases being made. One fun fact is the fact that the R8 V10 Performance Spyder comes standard with carbon ceramic brakes. So superb brakes. Very good heat dissipation as you are driving it aggressively on a track or otherwise. Hopefully on a track. And sometimes otherwise.
Okay.
Next question.
Sorry, I'm trying to get back to where I left off.
Stay in the car.
Yeah. Okay. Sound system from Latardo.
Sound system. Bang Olufsen. Oh man, off the top of my head, I cannot remember how many speakers or what the wattage is. I can play something for you. Let's see. What? I have it on Sirius XM Chill. I can only play a little bit, otherwise you end up in copyright issues, but okay, that's half volume, folks. So it can get louder. Much louder.
Okay. Oh, it's missing an integrated screen, right? Someone's bringing that up.
No, it has a digital gauge cluster. It doesn't have
No, infotainment.
infotainment. Infotainment is integrated in the gauge cluster. So your infotainment is going to be on the left-hand side where you're going to switch between things like your navigation, your your telemetry data, your radio station, and smartphone access. That's all going to be on the left-hand side of the screen, unless you go to View, where it takes over more of the screen. So this is Audi's Virtual Cockpit. It's the latest version of Virtual Cockpit. It's really well done. Oh, if you wanted to see more carbon fiber, we've got some more carbon fiber bits inside the cabin. So with this housing for the gauge cluster is carbon fiber. This back panel here is carbon fiber. That's kind of a neat detail. You can kind of look over that. Carbon fiber trim for the air vents here. Carbon fiber center tunnel here. And then you've got carbon fiber for the air vents on the door and for this center piece here. Continuity. Carbon fiber continuity.
Okay. Is the engine supercharged from Lamborghini?
No, it is not. No, it is a naturally aspirated 5.2 liter V10. Again, I wish I could show it to you, but it's right there and it's under a cover that I cannot open. So, yes, naturally aspirated V10 shared with the Lamborghini Huracan. Can we go drive?
Sure.
Sure. You sound so excited.
Well, I'm just having a hard time getting back to where I left off.
Yeah, we do have a lot of questions, which is great.
A lot of comments.
A lot of questions, a lot of comments. People like the R8. I will have a POV drive plug for you. I will have a POV day drive, POV night drive, and walk around for this car coming, I think, next week. So I won't have a review, unfortunately, but I will have those 3 videos along with this live Q&A. This live Q&A is going to kind of function as a bit of a review as I drive it and as I explain and answer questions. All right, Christina, let's go for a drive.
Oh, am I driving?
No. Unless you want to. No, I don't think you should. I don't think so. Not that you couldn't.
Hey, guess what? That was the next question. Will you drive it right now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I will.
Not a problem.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is that what it
was
sounds
me.
like? Yeah, I will.
That was me in my head.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't get to.
I see. All right. So we are going to start out in. Christina's going to put on her seatbelt, and then we're going to start out in auto mode. Auto mode's kind of like an everyday mode. There's a comfort
Can
mode.
I hear the exhaust except revving? Thank you.
Yes, yes. So like in motion. Yes, we will get to the exhaust in motion.
Okay.
We're going to start out in auto mode. You also have an individual mode where you can set up things like the exhaust noise and throttle response and shift timing. It is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission.
All right, and no George. It only comes with a soft top.
The Spyder. There is
the Spyder.
There is a coupe version of this car that is a fixed hardtop roof. Yes.
I like to pretend like I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you do. You are learning.
Well, I was right with this car.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts on the 2020 Huracan Evo Spyder from Finn the Gamer? Didn't we talk about that compared to this?
Yes, I did. I did talk about that. This person doesn't want to go.
Sorry, Finn.
You
You're
have
probably gonna have to go back and
green
watch.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got a little stretch here. I'm gonna press the performance button here on the steering wheel, and then it's gonna get loud and manual. Did I mention it would get loud? I think I did. Oh, the overrun sounds great. Okay, anyway, taking it out of performance mode, what's the dealio? What's our next question?
Well, I don't know. You're driving fast. It's kind of hard to check.
Oh, okay. I may have to put the top up at some point because it is still a bit loud here.
The rims I already showed. Okay, can you guys drive it? Yep, we're driving.
Yep, we're
The rims are right there. We showed them. Okay. What are the brake specs?
They are
Robert?
well, they're carbon ceramics. I think I can't remember off the top of my head the rotor size. They're fairly large, probably over 15 inches, and I'm fairly certain they are six piston front brakes with carbon ceramics, and I'm sure the rotors are over 15 inches. Someone can look up the exact specs for me. But they are large and very in charge. Great initial bite on the brakes.
I think you already answered this, but from Philip, is it better to settle for the R8 instead of paying $50K extra for a Huracan?
Yeah, so my short answer is it really depends on how much you want to stand out. The cars are going to drive similarly, though not the exact same. The transmission tuning and the powertrain tuning are different between Lamborghini and Audi, but it really just kind of depends. It comes down to how much do you want to stand out. Because
a Veloster beat you.
Yeah, it's a Veloster N, to be fair, but we also are coming up to a red light, so he's beating me to the red light.
Oh, good
That's
job,
all he's doing.
Veloster.
Anyway, yeah, so it depends. It's a lot of money. If you want to go all-wheel drive to all-wheel drive, it's something like, don't make me do the math. Don't make me do the math. What was it, 91, 80? This car is 208.
This is 208, and the other one's what?
291.
Okay, so 83.
83. Thank you. Okay.
Wait.
Are we right? we both can't do math, guys. Guys, help us out.
We're getting old. I teach math.
Yeah,
you
teach math.
Wait,
all right.
91.
91.
Yeah. It's
208.
Minus. Okay, so 90
80.
minus 7 will make it. It's 4.
84. 84. We got there.
84.
We got there.
Wow, that was bad.
No, 3. It's 83. It is 83.
I was right.
Guys, we just spent how many seconds of your lives discussing whether the delta between a Huracan all-wheel drive Spyder and the Audi R8 Spyder is $83,000 or $84,000.
All right. And a lot of people are jumping in, but we kind of went over these things. Just a heads up, you're some of the same questions we're getting. Because someone's asking, can you open the front hood, please? You showed the front hood.
Showed that.
You showed the front hood, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to that exhaust.
Okay.
Sounds good.
What's the quality of the interior from Lataro?
Excellent. Focus, Miles, focus. The interior is really high quality. The attention to detail in here is excellent. It's not going to be extravagant like some luxury brands, but they are tidy. Everything, the surfaces are high quality. The attention to detail of getting the stitching right, it's all just, It's all just tidy. It's all very well done.
It got cut off, but we're talking about the interior.
Interior here, we are talking about the high quality, like how they put the cabin together. The details are really spot on. The surfaces, the lines, they're all very tight. Very tidy, very tight.
Very tidy, very tight.
Very tight, very
Okay.
tight. All right, I'm gonna put the top up while we're sitting here.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's an Audi. That's an Audi
Brakes.
S5's brakes. Needs to be
check.
checked.
Okay.
It could just be some excess pad material that needs to be worn down.
Does this car have display from Philip?
Yes, it has a digital gauge cluster, 12.3 inches, Audi's virtual cockpit.
Okay, from Joshua Weeks, do you think the next gen R8 will have turbos or a supercharger? If not, when do you think they will add them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the next gen, if they make a new generation R8, they may have already confirmed that they're going to make one. I think it's going to be twin turbocharged. Just going to happen. If you look at, here's my indicator. All of Audi's portfolio vehicles have gone from originally naturally aspirated, then high displacement naturally or turbocharged, and now smaller and smaller engines with turbocharging. It's going to be a twin turbo setup, probably a V8 twin turbo. Yeah, that's going to be the setup for sure. Maybe, and actually very likely, with some form of electrification, some hybridized, mild hybrid, most likely powertrain.
Okay, can you lift up this back window?
Oh, you don't like it up? It gives us access. This one window is very cool because it gives us access to the exhaust note without having the whole top down.
And the fire ash in the sky.
Ah, yes. There are serious fires going on here in Southern California. Fair point, Christina. Top goes up. You can hear now how quiet it is in here. Car just idling in auto mode. It's very quiet. If I put it in individual mode, I've set it up that the exhaust is going to be louder.
From Mitchell.
Just cutting me off.
I just cut you off.
Just
Sorry.
going on to the next thing. It's fine. It's fine.
I found the question. I was excited. Mitchell, would you rev your own engine if you own this car?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
I think people are people against revving?
Well, I mean,
It's not good.
It's not great for the environment. I wouldn't rev it all the time, but every so often.
But you wouldn't be that annoying person doing it.
No, I would not be sitting there revving it all the time.
But we do this so people can hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
How loud is the exhaust? Thanks. Okay.
You can listen and come to your own conclusions. It's loud when you want it to be loud. It's quiet if you don't want it to be loud. Here's an example. Cruising along without the exhaust in loud mode. This effectively is just like a luxury car.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet.
It's a beautiful face. Yes, he does have a beautiful face.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
If you're talking about the Audi. Yeah.
We are really close up on your face right now, just so you know.
Well, we are in a two-person cabin.
It's really hard.
Let's look at the steering wheel. We can look around. We don't have to look at my face.
Okay.
We're not doing a lot of Q&A about my face. I wouldn't even want to sit through that. I can start answering questions that you haven't asked yet. There is no head-up display in this car, so you just have the digital gauge cluster. There are no real active safety features. You don't get adaptive cruise control. You don't get lane keeping assist. You don't get auto emergency braking, lane departure warning. You don't get any of those things.
Okay. Would you have the Audi?
Audi? Would you have the Audi?
Audi R8
Ooh, we're at a
or
stoplight.
I lost it.
Oh no. Well,
Or
that
the
means that
Mercedes. No. Hold
or the
on.
Mercedes. No, I will be doing launch control right now. Just FYI. Which
Can I just...
yeah, we're just
Okay, or the AMG GTR.
AMG GTR. Wow. I prefer. Man, that's tough. I like mid-engine supercars, so I'm gonna say probably R8. The AMG GT is beautiful, but it's front engine, not mid-engine, and the dynamics of the mid-engine are just better.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Whee! That's how you get 60 in 3 seconds. That's how it's done. Just that fast. Just in time for another stoplight.
Perfect.
Those are bumps. Those are how bumps feel in the R8. Still firm, not that bad.
Sorry, real Gabriel. He's getting upset at me, but I'm not really sure which question you asked. It says, answer my question. Oh.
Sorry, guys. There are a lot of questions coming in on the screen.
Sorry.
Christina's doing her best. If we don't get to it, if you comment the question after this video, I promise I will answer it. I go through those questions every single day to make sure that no one is missed. No one is glossed over.
Okay. What car sounds better, R8 or Huracan from Kofi?
I mean, they sound very similar because it's the same engine, but without that particulate filter, I'm going to say the Huracan sounds better. Here's an example. Like, it's kind of a rough road. I'm in the softest suspension setting. It's still a little firm, whereas if I was in that Acura NSX, it'd probably be very smooth. I really like how that car daily drove.
We've already answered that. Does this new Audi have a soft limiter?
Yeah, no.
No.
Not in performance mode. In all the other modes, yes.
Okay, hello, Anthony. Okay. All right. Thanks, George, for joining. Okay.
Thanks everyone who's joining right now. I appreciate it. And I hope I get to all your questions. Again, just comment them if I don't have a time to answer them, because we are going to wrap this up fairly soon.
Sorry, real Gabriel, I'm trying to find your question. I know you're upset at me. I'm sorry, it's gone.
It's gone.
Just gone.
It's just gone. If you ask it again, we'll get to it on the second round. So tell me what you want.
Can I have this for free?
Oh man.
No.
Can I have this for free? Christina, do you have the power to give this to me for free?
Nope.
Nope. I don't have the power to give it to you either. I'm sorry.
Nothing's free. Okay.
That's your life advice from Christina today. Nothing is free. Except the love of our Lord Jesus.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
It is true.
Okay.
It's true.
And we're also not going to answer that. Real Gabriel, what's your social security number?
No,
okay.
not going to answer that either.
Okay.
If that was your question, that's
why I passed it.
That's why we passed it.
Doesn't go with the car. Yeah. Okay. Does the Audi R8 get looks? We answered that too, Master Genie. Sorry, you're going to have to go back and watch. What is the MPG from Milt?
17 combined, which is, that's fine. It's fine for a naturally aspirated V10. That's fine.
Oh, how's the weather down there?
Oh, ashy, because we've got a few wildfires going on right now.
Oh, please turn.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. You don't go crunchy crunchy on this very expensive car.
Okay.
Anywho, what were we saying?
Are both of you married? Thanks.
To each other.
Hello, husband.
Yes.
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 I don't know why I'm being so weird, guys.
I know. It's because it's you.
Is there a retractable glass window in the top?
Not in the top. In the back, yes. Oh, in the folding mechanism that is the top, yes. It's this window back here, and it goes down, and then engine noise goes louder with that down. We are mostly keeping it up right now because there are wildfires going on. As I've said now for the 4th time. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. Just so we're not getting a ton of ash coming in here and putting that in. Christina is pregnant, so we don't want that going to the baby. Oh. Yeah, it sounds marvelous.
All right. Greetings from Holland, Amsterdam. Hello. Thank you for joining. No CarPlay? Question mark.
There is CarPlay. Yes, there's CarPlay. It was going to show up here on the infotainment.
All right. Oh, thanks. Oasim 079 says, it's 1:36 a.m. Keep going with the good videos.
Dang. Thank you for staying up late or early, whichever you see it as. But thank you for joining us at an inconvenient hour. I want the pops. I'm going to go into dynamic mode so I get the pops. Oh, overrun. Overrun.
All right. Thanks for joining, Tommy. Okay.
Good time for a plug, guys. At 100,000 subscribers, which we're creeping up to. When we get there, I'm going to tell you all about how I do what I do, the specifics of my job, and how you maybe can get started doing this if it's something you want to do yourself.
How did you know? Tommy just said my dream is to make videos like you guys someday.
Oh, I had no idea. I really didn't.
And congrats on the baby.
Thank you.
Thank you. What BMW M Series do you like the most from Kofi?
That's a good question. You're probably not gonna expect it, but the X3M, I really, really like that car. I think it's because it's the most surprising. When they introduced the X3 M40i, I was blown away by that. But the full-on M is even better. And I think just for something you just don't see it coming, it's just really good. Really good.
Oh, lots of congratulations on the baby, and she's getting whiplash 24/7 when she rides with you. That's true. She might like it because she's asleep.
Yes.
Okay. Is it all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? Greetings from Germany.
All Audi R8s are all-wheel drive. If you go for the Lamborghini, then the Huracan, then that is going to be a rear-wheel drive starting vehicle. If you pay a lot more money, then you'll get the all-wheel drive version of that car.
Okay. What is your favorite car? We answer this, I already know.
Pretty much every video I answer it, but I still enjoy the question. It is the McLaren, well, favorite car that I've driven. Favorite car, period. I love the 2005 Ford GT. Love that car. Absolute dream if I could buy one of those. As is the 2002 Dodge Viper. Favorite car I've driven? McLaren 675 LT may honestly be very closely unseated by that Aventador SVJ Roadster. That car made me feel like a kid again, and that's really what you want when you're driving a supercar, is to feel like a Nino. Little Nino.
Okay, I think you answered this already, Aiden. Sorry, used GT3 RS versus this R8.
Well, okay, so they're very different experiences. That GT3 RS is going to be much harsher if you're going to drive it every day or very close to every day. But it is going to be more engaging as a driver's car. So if you really want engagement, that GT3 RS is fantastic. But if you want a daily driver, it's not going to be this one. It's not going to be the GT3 RS. All right, I think we are going to wrap this one up. We've gone for a full 50 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really have fun doing these videos with you guys, and I genuinely apologize if we didn't get to your question. Ask them on Instagram at MilesPerHr. Follow on TikTok for fun little videos that I've been playing around with. And join in the conversation on the YouTube community, because I prompt this video with a question about this car so you can get your questions answered early. And that is that, folks. That's the 2020 Audi R8 V10 Performance Spyder, and we will see you again next time. That's coming from Miles and Christina.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.